The UN's Women, Peace and Security agenda recognises that women play a critical role in peace processes. In fact, peace agreements that involve women are 35% more likely to last at least 15 years, and yet 7 out of 10 peace processes do not include any women mediators or signatories. In our last video, UNAA New South Wales introduced United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325, which established the Women, Peace and Security agenda and covered Australia's National Action Plan. In this video, we review progress on the UN resolution and its follow-up actions, and take a look at what Australia and the UN are doing to implement this landmark resolution.
Hello, my name is Captain Jennifer Macklin, and I am the Director for Gender, Peace and Security at the Australian Department of Defence. In the year 2000, United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 delivered a watershed moment for the Women, Peace and Security agenda. For the first time, the Security Council linked women to the peace and security agenda. It recognised that women are disproportionately affected by conflict, with up to 90% of casualties in contemporary conflicts being civilians, the majority of whom are women and children. It also recognised that the experiences and needs of women and girls differ from those of men and boys in humanitarian emergencies, conflict and post-conflict situations. Resolution 1325 affirmed the active role women play in the prevention and resolution of conflicts. It stressed their equal participation and full involvement in all efforts towards the promotion of peace and security. 1325 also affirmed the need to integrate a gender perspective across UN operations. That is, making sure the needs of women and girls are accounted for and met when planning and conducting operations. The Australian National Action Plan on Women, Peace and Security sets out what our nation is doing at home and overseas to integrate a gender perspective into its peace and security efforts. The Australian Defence Force has been deploying gender advisors on operations since 2012 and recognises that women make an indispensable contribution to conflict prevention, conflict resolution, peace and recovery efforts. Defence continues to deploy military gender advisors to United Nations missions, and we support the international efforts of UN Women through the provision of a seconded specialist military advisor. Defence has established governance structures to support our efforts. The Defence Gender, Peace and Security mandate outlines how Defence will implement and operationalise gender perspectives across the organisation through 6 lines of effort. Women provide an invaluable perspective in every aspect of planning and conduct of military operations. We integrate a gender perspective into defence activities such as policy and doctrine, education and training, cultural reform, mission readiness, operational planning, and our international engagement. The Australian Defence Force is proud to work alongside our regional and global partners to support the mainstreaming of the Women, Peace and Security agenda. We will continue to promote our common goals of gender equality, human rights, peace and security. We must continue our advocacy for better outcomes for women and girls, because without gender equality, we cannot achieve sustainable, inclusive and prosperous societies or durable peace.
The Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade is the whole-of-government lead on our Women, Peace and Security program. The focus is on investing in women's participation and leadership and mainstreaming gender and the WPS agenda in peace processes. Since the commencement of the second national plan, DFAT has launched a new 5-year, $25 million WPS investment plan consisting of 5 partnership agreements. DFAT has also supported bilateral and regional programming on WPS and continued to provide high-level advocacy for the WPS agenda, including through the UN Security Council. Later this year, DFAT will lead coordination of the first of regular progress reports to government on the second National Action Plan implementation, leading to an independent final review in 2030. DFAT recognises that these national action plans support the systemic and systematic action needed to achieve gender equality, peace and security in a just, safe world.
Where women are engaged, the peace outcomes are likely to be sustainable and long-lasting.
The United Nations is at the forefront of the Women, Peace and Security agenda. Women participate as conflict party negotiators or delegates in all United Nations-led or co-led peace processes. In the UN Secretary-General's annual report on the implementation of Resolution 1325, Antonio Guterres highlighted that women contributed as lead mediators in 2 of the 5 active United Nations-led or co-led processes. Women also account for 43% of the staff on UN mediation support teams. In Sudan, experts say its modern history is littered with peace agreements that have failed because they excluded women. The UN mission in Sudan has therefore contributed to the formation of a 5-woman observer team of gender experts and to their presence during conflict negotiations. The integration of gender issues was achieved by encouraging a minimum 40% target in party delegations. In the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the UN mission has recently documented conflict-related sexual violence affecting over 1,000 women and girls. At the same time, the mission supported women's participation in the dialogue that resulted in a landmark local peace agreement between the Biru and the Haima communities. Here, Australia also faces challenges to peace and security in the region. The rules-based international order is under threat, and climate change remains a critical issue for Australia and our Pacific neighbours. Gender equality remains the #1 predictor of peace. And to achieve a sustainable peace in our region, we need a whole-of-society approach that involves not just the UN and governments, but also Australian organisations, individuals and businesses. Act now by learning more about the Women, Peace and Security agenda, or get involved with the United Nations Association of Australia to create a safer, fairer and more sustainable world for all.